Persephone, the goddess of life and death, myth, symbolism, and cultural influence. Hello, dear viewers. Today, we're diving into the world of ancient Greek mythology to explore one of its most enigmatic and significant goddesses, Persephone. We'll uncover how her story explains the changing of the seasons, her role in myths surrounding life and death, and the cultural impact she continues to have today. Origins and family of Persephone. Persephone, also known in myth as Kor, meaning maiden in ancient Greek, was the daughter of two powerful gods, Zeus, the king of the Olympian pursuits, and Demeter, the goddess of fertility and agriculture. Her birth was a moment of great joy among the gods, especially for Demeter, who poured all her love and care into raising her daughter. Persephone embodied youth, spring, and life. She grew up surrounded by flowers, meadows, and sunlight, symbolizing the purity and innocence of nature. Demeter and Persephone were inseparable, and their relationship symbolized the deep connection between mother and daughter, as well as nature and life. Persephone represented growth and rebirth, maintaining harmony on earth, while her mother, Demeter, ensured the fertility of the fields. However, their idyllic existence was shattered when Persephone caught the eye of one of the most mysterious and ominous gods, Hades. The abduction of Persephone by Hades. One day, while Persephone was gathering flowers on a lush green meadow with her friends, the ground suddenly split open beneath her. From the depths of the underworld emerged Hades, the god of the dead and ruler of the realm of shadows. Captivated by Persephone's beauty, he decided to make her his queen. Seizing the moment, Hades abducted the young goddess, taking her to his underworld kingdom, where darkness and cold reigned. This event was a turning point not only in Persephone's life, but for the entire earth. When Demeter learned of her daughter's disappearance, her grief was boundless. She pleaded with all the gods to return her daughter, but no one could help, as Persephone was in the heart of the underworld. In her despair, Demeter wandered in search of Persephone, neglecting her duties as the goddess of fertility. The earth became barren, crops died, and the first winter began, a time of cold, hunger, and desolation. Persephone's life in the underworld. While the world above suffered, Persephone, now in the underworld, gradually came to understand her new role. Hades offered her the position of his queen and ruler of the underworld, where she would oversee the souls of the dead. Despite the terrifying start to their relationship, Persephone eventually accepted her fate. She became an important part of the underworld, and her influence spread to all who entered it. The myth of Persephone eating several pomegranate seeds is key to her connection with the underworld. The pomegranate, an ancient symbol of life and death, forever bound her to Hades and the underworld. According to myth, the seeds were the reason she would spend part of each year in the realm of the dead. While Persephone could return to her mother, these seeds tied her to the underworld forever. Persephone's return to the earth. Demeter, as the goddess of fertility, could not tolerate her daughter's absence for long, nor the death of the world above. She appealed to Zeus to intervene and bring Persephone back. Understanding that the world could not survive without fertility and life, Zeus decided to step in. He sent his messenger, Hermes, to the underworld to negotiate with Hades for Persephone's return. A deal was struck. Persephone would return to her mother for half of the year, spring and summer, and spend the other half with Hades in the underworld, autumn and winter. This agreement became symbolic of nature's cycles, explaining the changing of the seasons. When Persephone returns to her mother, Demeter rejoices and grants the earth fertility and abundance. This is the time of spring and summer when everything blossoms and grows. But when Persephone returns to the underworld with Hades, Demeter grieves and the earth becomes barren, the time of autumn and winter. Persephone, as the goddess of life and death. Persephone embodies duality, symbolizing both life and death. Her annual transition between the world of the living and the world of the dead reflects the cyclical nature of life, birth, death, and rebirth. She is the goddess of spring, bringing renewal and the blossoming of nature. But at the same time, she is the queen of the underworld, overseeing the souls of the dead. This duality makes Persephone one of the most complex and layered figures in Greek mythology. On the one hand, she is a gentle, youthful maiden, symbolizing innocence, fertility, and the beginning of new life. On the other, she is a powerful ruler of the underworld, central to myths about life after death. Her presence in the Eleusinian mysteries, one of the most significant religious rites of the ancient world, emphasizes her importance in understanding life, death, and resurrection. The Eleusinian mysteries, dedicated to Demeter and Persephone, were secret rituals where participants gained knowledge about the nature of life and death. These mysteries symbolized hope for the rebirth of the soul and life after death, with Persephone playing a central role as the guide between the two worlds, the world of the living and the world of the dead. Symbolism and cultural influence of Persephone in art and culture. Persephone's image is deeply rooted in culture, from ancient Greek sculpture and vase painting to modern interpretations in art and literature. Her symbols often include the pomegranate, representing her connection to the underworld, and torches, which light the way in the darkness of the underworld. In ancient art, Persephone was depicted as a young and beautiful goddess, with regal bearing, often holding a pomegranate or a torch. Her images can be found on numerous vases, frescoes, and statues. One of the most famous depictions of Persephone is a fresco from Pompeii, where she is shown seated on a throne next to Hades, emphasizing her role as queen of the underworld. Interest in Persephone continued through the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. In the modern era, her myth has been reflected in literature, art, and cinema. Writers and artists continue to turn to Persephone as a symbol of the transition from innocence to maturity, from life to death, and back again. Persephone also represents female power and transformation. Her story of abduction, captivity, and eventual return reflects themes of survival, overcoming adversity, and finding inner strength. This is why she remains a popular figure in both ancient and contemporary culture. Conclusion: Persephone is one of the most multifaceted and important figures in Greek mythology. She embodies both life and death, innocence and maturity, light and darkness. Her myth not only explains the cycles of nature, but also prompts us to think about life and death, how they are intertwined, and how one cannot exist without the other. Persephone's story is one of balance, accepting one's fate, and understanding that personal trials can lead to a deeper comprehension of the world. Her connection with Demeter reminds us of the importance of family bonds and how the love and connection between mother and daughter can overcome any barrier, even death. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of ancient Greek mythology and want to learn more about other gods and goddesses, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and leave a comment. Share your thoughts. What do you think of Persephone's myth? Do you see parallels with modern stories? Stay tuned for more fascinating content.